Hey, what's up everybody? This is Penn. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will be unboxing, giving my commentary, my thoughts, opinions, whatever you want to call it, on the Zidoo Z9X Pro. Now, just to prepare you, just to give you some context for this video, I did the unboxing the day I got the product. So the footage you're going to see is a week ago. Any recent footage past that is going to be after the initial testing. I wanted this video to mainly focus on my experience with the device and also my viewing experience, my thoughts on the video and the audio quality, and some things I checked out on the Zidoo forum that piqued my interest. I'll save that towards the later half of the video. Well, grab a drink, perhaps grab some popcorn, however you get prepared when you watch the content here on YouTube, and see you next time. Enjoy the video. Alright, so let's get to this unboxing generally. So this is the Zidoo Z9X Pro. Ordered this from a website. I will have it in the description, Futeko.com, and the whole process was actually very nice. When initially they provided the wrong tracking number, I emailed the support email. I'll have that in the description as well. And they gave me the correct tracking information, and I was able to, check on my order to see when it will be coming to my shipping address. Now what you're seeing here is just me essentially tearing a box open. This is last week's footage, and the box was well presented. I kind of figured I can just tear it how I would like to. I figured the box stability wasn't questionable to the point where I would send it back. I did do some research prior to purchasing this product. And it is a product that is in quite a few of consumers and AV enthusiasts' home theater, or in their home theater, things of that nature. And I was just looking to see what's all the hype is about at the end of the day. So you see it there. Does the Dolby audio, the Vision, the DTS, the HDMI 2.1, 4K compatible, does all the HDR formats, and even supports all the Dolby Vision profiles. This was a player that I was interested in because I was hearing a lot of talking, was hearing a lot of rumbling versus the Apple TV 4K, versus the NVIDIA Shield, versus the Doom, the Sapiti, the almighty Kaleidoscape. On the back, it just has the gigabit LAN, USB 3.0, the HDMI, optical, AV out, and it even has an option for the power. You do have two USB 2.0 ports on the side, 3.0 in the back, and it even gives you the ability for a SATA connection if that's the route that you want to go. Now, there will be more information on this device in the description. But generally, out of the box experience, I am liking what I'm seeing for me personally. And I'm not using everything in the back. I'm using the Ethernet port, of course, the power cable that comes with it. It came from the UK, so they gave like a plug converter from the UK to United States. I'm going to be showing that briefly in the video. It works. However, I do feel that the cord is too short for my liking. I would have wished that definitely if they plan on sending this to the United States, or, you're sending it, make sure that the cable has like a nice length to it. That would be my con for the cable. But it does work as advertised. Once I hooked it up, I didn't have any issues, any problems. I feel as though the remote is bare bones. It looks pretty stale. It feels cheap. Doesn't feel like they didn't really put any thought and design into the remote that comes out of the box, because you have to remember that not everyone wants to hassle or to deal with a third-party remote. They may want a remote that comes with the device itself. I mean, from a design standpoint, it really doesn't do anything special. When I say bare bones, that's how it feels. It looks bare bones, it looks cheap. And I felt like for a high-end media player, they should have put more thought into their remote. Ultimately, the budget and the thought process went into the device itself. So that's ultimately where I'm going to be spending my talking points once we get past this first segment of the video. I'm using a Sofa Baton X1 to replace the Zidoo remote that came with the device. I just feel as though it's way better for my needs. Got some activity automation going on with it. And overall, I just feel it's a better remote because it can do more things than the Zidoo. That's not really a knock per se, because that's a third-party option. Just keeping it real. Alright, so I'm going to be transitioning on to the device. Okay, so this is after a week of me testing the product. I really wanted to watch some films that I thought will showcase this device, capabilities in terms of the video and audio. So I'm just going to go into how I set this up. When you first boot the device, you're met with this general user interface. It's not the prettiest, it's not the best looking. I do like the wallpaper that they have that comes preloaded with the box. I like the screensaver after a while when the box is unattended or there's no user input. So if you're on like an OLED display, you don't have to worry too much about burn-in. There are some features out of the box that can aid with that if that's your concern at this point. In terms of applications, the only thing that I've side-loaded is Emby. I just used the web installation method. It's a very quick and efficient way to getting applications onto this device. And that would be something that I would be using in the future if I want to experiment with some things. Now, there's a media center. Of course, there's the temperature. You can pick the city. There's the time. I'm recording this after work, after testing this device. So I'm going to need y'all to smack the like button, support a brother, because I'm putting in that work after hours. There's the media center, home theater 4.0, browser functionality, and it gives you the app lock about cleanup and quick settings. Not too much to talk about here in this aspect, so I'm going to go to quick settings. So how I set up this device was I wanted the frame rate to be match frame rate only, because I wanted the Zidoo with the home theater 4.0 to upscale to my 4K display on my LG C2 OLED. So I only wanted the match frame rate only, didn't need the resolution. I'll have the player and the television do the upscaling automatically for me. I left most of this stuff at default. I really didn't go in and change too much here. Out of the box, it pretty much sets it. I just set my frame rate. Display, have it at auto, 4K at 60 Hertz. Color settings, you can come in here and adjust this if you wish. I might have changed one of these settings, but overall, you don't really need to touch it unless you feel the need to. HDR to SDR, you can adjust the picture when it comes to these specific settings. I pretty much leave this at default. If you choose to mess around, that is up to you. HDR, this is important. Here's another thing. The HDMI cable that comes with this device is completely junk. I say that because when I was on auto, because it determines the output based off of the file, so SDR, HDR, and Dolby Vision. And when I had it on auto, when I would play my HDR10 content or attempts to play it, it would give me like a incompatible image format, and it wouldn't display the video. And it will showcase the audio, but it would not display the video for whatever reason. So how I worked around that was going through Dolby Vision VS10 engine, and ultimately that fixed it, but it still did not fix the inconsistency with the HDR10 format with leaving it on auto. I felt it was unacceptable. So I took out the HDMI that came with the box. It's garbage, and I replaced it with a Ruri Pro cable, and it fixed all of my issues. I wanted the out-of-box experience to be as close to possible. I mean, I switched out the remote as well for my preference, but I at least tried to use the HDMI cable. It worked for Dolby Vision content, just wasn't working for HDR. So make sure you use a high-end, high-quality cable. I will have a link to some of the cables that I use in the description as well. And all the rest of this stuff, default. We're gonna go to audio. HDMI audio, raw. You're getting the best possible audio, bit stream, whatever, highest audio that is available on that specific file that you have. And I just changed mine to raw. And once again, most of this stuff is default. In terms of network, I have Wi-Fi off. I'm completely hardwired, but I am not streaming within my local network when it comes to home theater 4.0. I actually just attached a 4 terabyte external hard drive, has some content on it, some 4K rips, and I was playing back the files directly off of the hard drive. Now I do like it that it has Bluetooth support and a Samba server, so other devices is able to see this Zidoo, connect to it, and you're able to access your content on different devices. Pretty much, it's the server. Now, in this video, I will not be showcasing that. That's not the point of the initial test, but it is an option. And there's other. The HDMI CEC, I did like. This was my settings specifically for my sofa baton. I would do another video on this. But basically, you're able to come in here and really just see what you got going on. And it's cool. It's really nice. They do have an advanced settings where you click on here. You can go into the video, the network, the apps, device preferences, the remote accessories, things like that. And basically, it's pretty much Android. If you're familiar with Android, you'll be pretty familiar with Zidoo. All right, so I'm going to jump into Home Theater 4.0. And the way this worked is I simply went up top to sources, and you see I have some demo content. I have some 4K movies, and I simply went add source. You can do by SMB, NFS, storage directly. This is external storage, 4K movies. And I simply went to my folder of choice. I selected the folder and I was good to go. Very easy, nothing complicated about that. So I'm going to get into the interface of Home Theater 4.0. It's very professionally laid out. It's very clear what you're doing. it makes it very obvious and very easy with the icons. They're big enough, they're clear, so you can see what you're doing. The recently added, the posters that you see on the screen is very nice. The categories, it automatically maps the categories based off of the content that you scan, and it puts the genres up front. This is something that Infuse does automatically as well that I like. Other applications such as perhaps Plex or Emby, you may have to use your user interface and you may have to navigate through the settings in order to find the genres that you want, or build your libraries based on the genres. That's personal preference. This app just does it for you. However, if you know you have science fiction, it's just nice to where it's on the home page. Gives you a recommended. It's not a ton of content that I had loaded on this external drive. I'm just going to get into what did I watch. I saw the Batman. I did see John Wick 4, Chapter 4. And I like how it automatically puts the films into a collection and you just have everything here. No additional setting needed. You didn't have to configure anything. It does it automatically and it recognizes all of the films and it puts it in a collection. That's powerful. I seen Creed. I rewatched the series Creed and I felt like this movie really showed off the video and the audio quality of this device. Because this is a 4K Remux, and for those of you that don't know what that is a one-to-one copy of the disc in terms of the video, the audio, and the subtitle information. As you can see, very nice. Prior to the video, I did turn off the trailers so I don't get hit with a copyright strike, potentially. So I just like how it's laid out, shows the poster. And you can change the look when you're navigating. It got the media flags down below, you know, the 4K, the HDR10, the HEVC, Dolby Digital, DTS. Go to more. It shows you the file information. So Creed 1 was like what, 2015. So this file particularly is like 54.64 gigs. It shows you the video, audio, all that information. I played this in the DTS HDMI 7.1 and it played back flawlessly on the Zidoo. Very similar to how it played on my NVIDIA Shield 2019 Pro. Okay. Like the background, artwork is nice. Go back and you go up here. You're able to go to the settings. You know, those three lines in the upper right hand corner. You can filter things. You can do sources, or you can do the settings here. I do like that. And if you click on the sort of 4 squares, it gives you a different look and feel. Shows that clear logo with the background. It's just a different look. This may be what you want if you have a smaller library. For me, I'm just going to prefer the out of the box look, or you can go there. Or you can have it like that. So I'm going to get in. The first movie that I tested with this, I seen the entire Creed, rewatched that, seen John Wick Chapter 4, and I made sure I seen the Batman. So you're presented with a nice, clean background, gives you the director, the cast, the synopsis. I like that line before the synopsis, unmask the truth. This application will show you the ratings, you know, the length of the movie, gives you all the bells and whistles. If I go to this is a Dolby Vision copy, Dolby Atmos. This is 87.31 gigs. And let me tell you, It was a fantastic experience when I played this on my LG C2 OLED 65 inch. I'm sitting roughly 5.5 feet back on the Nakamichi 7.2.4 eARC Dolby Atmos surround sound setup, and the experience was magical. You crank this up a certain length and feels like you're in the theater. Visuals, this movie has some impressive contrast scenes between light and shadow, and on the OLED it truly shined. I originally saw the 4K Blu-ray of this on a Hisense UAG. The C2 just takes it to another level in terms of contrast, being immersed in a picture, and you know, it's the difference between light and dark and the colors and the subtle like improvements on the picture. Very, very nice. Usually there will be a trailer that will be playing sort of like in the upper right hand corner, but I turned that off. But it definitely out of the box is nice. I will say that it is nice. It even picked up one of my Dolby Vision demos. It even recognized it, which is here. So I have a separate folder on a drive just for demo content, for demo purposes, and it recognized it. So I did like that. I think with the VS10 technology, when it comes to the Dolby Vision, I think it's going to present you with a slightly sharper image, more natural colors, a little bit more saturated. The picture quality and the audio quality is honestly what I expect out of a 4K Remux. That's the 4K Blu-ray, just a 1-to-1 copy. At the end of the day, it delivered on what it was advertised for. This is a high-end media player, which I believe at an affordable price, in which you can play back your RIP content or your archive content from other sources, and you can play them back at the highest quality. That is just something that's it's pretty good. If that's what you're into, if that's what you want to do, then you would definitely need a compatible device for that. Now, I'm going to be jumping in to what are my thoughts on the Emby situation. But before I get into that, I did want to showcase the settings. It does give you the options to come in and customize, set your preferences. Even have track integration. It has a wallpaper option, and the about section, which I won't be showcasing, gives an IP address, something that you can put into a browser, in which it's like a control center. So you can have like additional control or an additional option if you have that IP, to where you're able to be flexible and control certain aspects when it comes to this product. So I think that's fabulous in that regard, if you ask me. All right. Now, I use the APK installer. It comes preloaded in a device. I go to it. There's a USB installation, and there's something called a web installation. The web installation shows an IP address. It's a URL. You type it into a browser, and you can easily sideload applications on this device. It's very quick and very efficient. When I was going through the Zidoo forums, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but a few was curious about, is it compatible with Emby? And for this device, and even for the last version of the Z9X, a lot of people recommended it. Emby for ATV, and the app that's on the Google Play Store, that's compatible with your phone or tablet, for example. So I wound up doing that. So I have it on here. It's right here. I'm gonna click into it. Home Theater 4.0 is very nice for local content, but you are limited based off of what you have that's connected to the Zidoo or through a DAS or a NAS solution, or even hooking up drives directly into the device. For me, I wanted to test the flexibility of this device. And what I'm seeing here is that it definitely loads. There's some UI scaling issues, but it's Emby. I can look past that. It is on a completely different device than my NVIDIA Shield. So it loads up the content. This is my private cloud. And I just wanted to see the performance when it came to playing Emby on a Zidoo. And I was into like an hour in Secree, and then after that, it was pretty much a disaster. Audio would have cutouts. Video would skip. It was sort of like stutter. It wouldn't be smooth. And this is using the Zidoo home theater as an external player. So this isn't with the Emby internal player. This is with Zidoo's player. And I'm actually going to navigate to that now. Okay, so when you go to the settings gear in the upper right hand corner and you go to playback, I have my usual stuff ticked just to make sure I'm getting the maximum performance. Pass through on audio. So to get the Home Theater 4.0 player to work with Emby, you just use external player for videos. It automatically uses the Home Theater application. And that way you get the flexibility of Emby, but you get the playback performance from Zidoo internally. And I found that to be very powerful initially. Well, unfortunately, it did not work as expected. Which after the testing, I wasn't surprised. I mean, it is a competitor, even though Emby has a free option. They do have a paid option as well. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that. Not gonna lie. So Emby is a no-go. That's just the way it is. So I have it set up where there's a media center. I can just scroll and play my stuff directly from here. There's a demo. I have my stuff in folders: Dolby True HD, 7.1 Atmos, Dolby Vision, HDR, and DTS. And it's nice coming in here and playing some demos. So who was this device for? Ultimately, I think it's for someone who wants to build their own media library or have a nice device that's more convenient for an existing media library. I do believe that this is a specific brand and a specific device where you should have a compatible display for more sort of formats, an audio solution, to get you up and running. I would suggest this device for anyone that's looking for, that home theater feel and to have the best possible playback performance. Of course, this is also good for businesses because I actually set up entertainment centers or media rooms locally for clients. This is just another tool in the toolkit at the end of the day. I just wanted to check it out for myself, see what it was hitting for initially. Of course, later down the road, I'll do an actual review of this. And, perhaps we can discuss this more on some upcoming live shows. If any of you purchased a device and if you viewed this video, let me know down in the comments. But it's getting late, as you can see by the time. The after hour grind don't stop. I got to get this edited and get this uploaded so that y'all can see it. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I know it was a pretty lengthy video, but with the new device, it's new thoughts, new opinions, new horizons perhaps. And if you have it, let me know what you think. This is Penn signing out. Thank you for watching, and peace out.